Greetings, dear viewers. We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Our royal tale today revolves around recent reports that Prince William is reportedly bemused by the notion that Prince Harry wants his children to have the option to decide if they'll ever want to take on royal roles in the future. But let's take a step back for a moment. Who, pray tell, declared that young Archie and Lilibet are eager to wear the mantle of working royals? From our vantage point, it seems they are enjoying a tranquil existence in sunny California, an ocean away from the stiff decorum and duty-driven theatrics of the monarchy. Yet, this seemingly innocent desire of their father has somehow ruffled Prince William's feathers. According to whispers from the palace, William is poised to ensure that Harry's offspring are permanently barred from any future royal roles, as if this were some form of retribution. Frankly, it's almost comical. Our dear William struggles to shoulder his own royal responsibilities without disappearing into his shell, and yet here he is, already scheming to deny two innocent children a future they haven't even expressed interest in. Let's call a spade a spade. No one is clamouring at the palace doors, pleading for the chance to undertake royal duties. The crown is no longer seen as a privilege, it's more akin to a heavy yoke. Harry made no secret of this when he chose to take a step back and shield his family from the relentless scrutiny. This entire narrative simply underscores how threatened William seems to be, not by the actions of Archie and Lily, but by what they symbolize: a fresh generation, unencumbered by royal constraints and free to blossom with independence and self-respect. In this scenario, it seems that William's bemusement has created an unnecessary uproar. So stay tuned as we delve deeper into this royal saga in our next scene. It's crucial to examine the notion of royal roles, which seems to have triggered a reaction. A royal role isn't just about waving to crowds from a balcony. It is a life of duty, of public service, and often personal sacrifice. These roles come with heavy responsibilities, a life lived in a goldfish bowl, and, as we've seen, a fair share of drama. Let's consider Prince William's approach to these duties. Ever the dutiful heir to the throne, William has taken on an increasing number of responsibilities over the years. Yet there have been whispers, murmurs of moments when he's retreated into silence, perhaps weighed down by the enormity of his future role. Now let's contrast this with Prince Harry's decision to step back from his royal duties. Harry and Meghan made headlines around the world when they chose to carve out a new life for themselves and their children, away from the glare of the royal spotlight. They sought a life of relative normalcy, free from the constraints and expectations of royal duty. And it's this decision that seems to have sparked the latest royal controversy. The idea that Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, might have the freedom to choose whether or not they want to take on royal roles has apparently ruffled some royal feathers. But why? Why should the potential choice of two young children provoke such a reaction? Could it be that this option, this freedom to choose, is seen as a threat to the established order of things? After all, the idea of royal work isn't as glamorous as it once was. It's become a burden. This isn't a fairy tale, it's a life of duty and service, and perhaps, just perhaps, the real issue isn't about whether Archie and Lilibet might choose royal roles, but rather the fact that they have a choice at all. Now, let's delve into what truly threatens the monarchy. Archie and Lilibet, two children growing up in sunny California, far from the intimidating stone walls of the royal palace. They represent a new generation, one that is free from the chains of royal protocol and duties. They are free to be children, to laugh, to play, to make mistakes and learn from them without the world's critical eyes scrutinizing their every move. They represent the threat of independence. This independence is not just about living a life free from royal duties, it's about having the option to choose. It's about having the liberty to decide their own paths, even if it diverges from the well-trodden royal road. It's about the freedom to be themselves without the weight of centuries of tradition and expectation pressing down on their young shoulders. This independence, this freedom of choice, seems to instill a sense of fear in the monarchy. It's a fear of the unknown, a fear of losing control, a fear of change. But most importantly, it's the fear of a future where royal titles may no longer carry the weight they once did. a future where the monarchy might have to face the reality that they are no longer the centre of the universe. Archie and Lili symbolize a breath of fresh air, a break from the past, a beacon of hope for a future where being royal isn't about duty and tradition, but about freedom and choice. They are the embodiment of a new era, an era where individuals are not defined by their titles, but by their actions and their character. The threat of independence is not a threat to the monarchy's survival, but a threat to its relevance. It's a wake-up call, a reminder that the world is changing and that the monarchy must change with it or risk becoming obsolete. In the face of this threat, the monarchy should not retreat into fear and control, but embrace change and progress. After all, a monarchy that cannot adapt to the times is a monarchy that is bound to fall. It's the freedom of choice that seems to intimidate the monarchy, a freedom they've never had. Moving further, we need to look into the power dynamics within the monarchy. It's important to understand that power is not just about control, but also about the ability to influence decisions and outcomes. In this context, it's necessary to discuss William's alleged plans to exclude Harry's children from future royal roles. Now, this is a curious step, isn't it? It seems like a classic power play, reminiscent of a game of chess where the pawns are moved strategically to control the board. Here the board is the monarchy, and the pawns, it appears, are Harry's children. But let's delve a little deeper. What does this say about William? This move, if true, reveals more about him than it does about Harry's kids. It highlights a level of pettiness that seems unbecoming of a future king. It also suggests a certain hunger for power, a need to control not just the present, but also the future. Yet the irony lies in the fact that these are roles Archie and Lilibet have not asked for, nor shown any inclination towards. In fact, they are happily living their lives thousands of miles away from the royal drama. So why the need to exclude them? Is it merely a show of power, or is there something more? Perhaps it's a reaction to what these children represent. They are the embodiment of a new generation, one that values independence and freedom over duty and tradition. They are the face of a future where the monarchy might not hold the same relevance or power. In this context, William's alleged actions seem more like an attempt to reassert control, to re-establish the monarchy's hold on its members. It's a power play, yes, but one that seems rooted in fear and insecurity, rather than strength or certainty. Harry's approach seems to be about providing his children with options, which has been misconstrued as a threat. But isn't that what we all want for our children, the freedom to choose their own path? That, my dear listeners, is a question worth pondering. Finally, we come to the most pressing issue, the declining relevance of the monarchy. As we've seen in recent years, the idea of a ruling monarchy is becoming less and less important to the general public, especially the younger generation. The monarchy is no longer the beacon of power and influence it once was. Instead, it's becoming a symbol of outdated traditions and a lack of adaptability to the changing times. The obsession with controlling the lives of the young royals, like Archie and Lili, is a clear example of this. Archie and Lili, two children who haven't even asked to bear the burden of royal duties, are being pushed into a narrative not of their making. Rather than focusing on controlling these young lives, the monarchy needs to turn its attention to its own relevance. In a world where personal freedom and individual rights are increasingly valued, the concept of a monarchy, with its rigid structures and protocols, seems more out of place than ever. The monarchy needs to evolve, to adapt, and to find a way to stay relevant. The fact is, Archie and Lili are doing just fine without the royal titles. They are growing up in an environment that values their individuality and freedom, far from the restrictive clutches of the monarchy. Their lives serve as a testament to the fact that royal titles and duties are not necessary for a fulfilling, successful life. The monarchy needs to understand this. It needs to shift its focus from control to relevance. It needs to find ways to connect with the public, to resonate with their values, and to remain a meaningful part of their lives. Otherwise, the monarchy risks becoming an antiquated institution, a relic of the past that holds little relevance in the modern world. And that would indeed be a tragedy, not just for the monarchy, but for the rich history and cultural heritage it represents. The monarchy needs to shift its focus from control to relevance if it wants to survive.